It's Friday, September 19th. Today on The Social. Does Ariana Grande have an attitude problem? The star's rumored diva-like demands. When students tweet or text their teachers, is it a good idea to connect online outside the classroom? And from the gripping medical drama Saving Hope, Durance returns as our celebrity fifth chair. Then Hilary Duff comes clean. The star stops by to talk music, marriage, and motherhood. Plus, the secret to beautiful brows. An eyebrow expert to the stars shares pro tips on getting the perfect arch. It all starts now on The Social.
Because it's a party up in here. Thank you for that. Lainey is away today, but from CTV's E-Talk, senior reporter Danielle Graham is here filling in. Welcome, Danielle.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So fun to have you here. And returning as our fabulous fifth chair from CTV's medical drama Saving Hope, Durance is back. And Erica, it's not just Erica, it's like Erica and a half.
That's right. +1.
She's got her +1 because you are almost 6 months pregnant?
Yes.
Congratulations.
You feeling good? I'm feeling pretty great.
You look great. Did you have a funky first 3 months at all?
Compared to the first 3 months,
Okay.
I feel fabulous.
Okay, good.
I'm no longer gagging all the time. So.
It's fun.
Good.
And this is a very baby welcoming show, especially because Lainey's not here.
Yeah, exactly. I remember
Especially,
that
right?
from last time. Yeah.
But we don't know what Danielle has in store, but certainly.
There's no announcements to be made today,
Okay,
Melissa.
good.
I don't know the way you did it.
Okay, we always want to make sure you're joining us on social media. What do you have to say to us? You can tweet us, you can Facebook, text, and Instagram, even email if you wish. If we had a phone line, I'm sure you could call us as well, but we don't, so get us all those other ways. So the rumor has it that Ariana Grande, you know who she is, right? Okay. It turns out that there are some rather grande demands coming from her camp, earning her a little bit of a diva-like reputation. So if you believe Page Six, they are reporting that the 21-year-old singer is condescending, she's tough to work with, she insists on only being shot from her left side, something that her team is aggressive about ensuring. There's a lot of people saying different locations, Australia, the United States, everywhere, saying, we have a bit of a tough time with this girl. What do you think about this kind of behavior from a celebrity and a younger, she's 21, younger celebrity at that? What do you guys have to think?
Well, first of all, I was going to say who. And it might be the only way, but that's indicative to the rest of my answer. I think that no matter who you are, whatever age you are, however big you get, you don't have a right to treat people as your servants. And it's a very short shelf life in this business, so you just better be careful that when you pop back out on the other side, all those people that you treated terribly aren't waiting for you out there, you know? On the same time, there's a lot of questions and things that you have to do to protect yourself in this business, to protect image that seems very strange from the outside. Okay. So if a random thing gets popped out about left side, right side, that's a well-known thing for an actress.
You mean sides of face that you want to
You know,
I
which
mean, I have a
side
side.
is this? She just needs to be more subtle about it and just position herself to always show her one side
So
instead
it's
of
not
demanding
what she's
it.
saying, it's how she's saying.
That's what I think.
Okay,
And really, it's her people too. A lot of times, you know, it's her publicist or it's her manager that is going up to the reporter and saying, you know what, she needs her side. These are demands as entertainment reporters we get all the time, and we don't even consider them demands. It's like if that's all there is, that's okay. If somebody wants studio light as opposed to natural light, I'm like, I get it, because there's a lot of variables with natural light. So she's somebody who came up through the child star system. Anybody with young kids in their house knows Victorious and, you know, her other show, Sam and Cat, I think it was. My daughter was a big fan of Ariana Grande before you guys heard of her. So I'm thinking she's really savvy. She's worked in the biz for a long time.
She came up through the Nickelodeon shows.
She came up through the Nickelodeon shows, so she knows what she wants. And I feel like because she's a young woman, she's getting, you know, a lot of flack for it. Van Halen famously had a writer in 1982 where they said, amongst other things, I took this from the internet, they wanted malt liquor, 1 large tube of KY jelly, and M&Ms, but there couldn't be any brown ones, right? But it's okay. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. I think what you said, Erica, she has to protect her brand and protect her image. I don't condone anybody being rude or bad behavior, but, you know,
I'm going to put you on the spot, Danielle, because a very famous reporter from E, Juliana Rancic, has come out and said she's kind of being quoted a lot about this story because she said, you know, where there's smoke, there's fire. And I saw her on the red carpet once, and her people were aggressive in asking me to switch sides so that she could have her left side on camera versus the other way. And Juliana basically said, and I paraphrase here, she said, if you're Mariah Carey, fine, I'll move aside, I'll jump, I'll climb ladders, I'll do anything for you if you're Mariah. If you are a young up-and-coming star...
But she's not up-and-coming.
Well, I'm just quoting Juliana.
Okay.
So does Juliana have a point here?
See, this is where I take issue. As an entertainment reporter, you don't tell those tales.
No.
Your job is to be the reporter, to do the interview. You are not the star. You are just the vehicle to get the information from this celebrity. And early on in my career, I was very new to an entertainment job. I had done an interview with a celebrity that wasn't necessarily really pleasant. I had no media training, and when asked in an interview with a newspaper, have you ever encountered, you know, an unkind celebrity, I named names, and I was banned from ever interviewing that star again, and that star went on to be a big deal. So her
you're not going to tell us who it is?
No, I'm not going to.
Okay, just asking.
I am not naming names, but you know, it got back to the record company and her publicist, and they were quite displeased with that. So that for me is reporter 101. No, 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 no,
Although
no.
it also argued that Juliana is now a celebrity in her own right, or at least she feels like she's been around for a long time. She has her own show, a reality show. She's on Fashion Police.
I get what you're saying, but she's saying that she would make amends for Mariah Carey. You have to do it for all people.
That's
you have
what I
to
was
say,
saying.
You can't say for Mariah Carey.
I don't think it's ever anybody's right to treat somebody like they're their servant.
Well,
I know that's kind of an idealistic thing, but this industry basically highlights your personality, I think, and gives you freedom to be whatever your personality is. So if you happen to be a genuinely kind of grounded, pretty humble person, it just opens up that door. If that little sneaky other side comes out, or you have a certain neuroses that it gets fostered, and this business fosters it, and you create monsters out of people.
Do you think it could be different, though, that people are picking on her because she's a young woman in music? Would it be the same if she was a young man coming up, 21-year-old, you know, pop star?
It could be. I will say she has made a statement about this because this has been following her around the globe. And recently, it came to light in Australia that some outlets were claiming that she was a little bit of a diva to deal with. And her quote was, sometimes it's very important how people will run with a story and completely 180 what actually happened, because I try to keep it real and I just say hi, I shake hands, answer the questions they want to ask, and that's it. Sometimes people don't have anything to give but negativity, and that's really unfortunate. She may be telling the truth. I will say, when a big star like Daniel Radcliffe, he came on our show not too long ago, and this is an arguably massive star, 10 times over from an Ariana Grande. What was our impression when he left
He
here?
was the nicest guy.
The nicest man ever. Why? No entourage. He came backstage. He went out of his way to introduce himself to everybody. No demands, at least that we ever heard of. Not to say that there
I get
wasn't.
it, but I've been in an elevator with him in Los Angeles, and I've had a different experience.
Don't be telling tales.
I'm not telling tales. I've had a different experience, right? So.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
We came to no consensus, but that doesn't matter because that was fun. Yeah. That was fun. Okay, so if you're young or you're older and you love social media, we have to ask the question, where do you draw the line when you're connecting with people? So what about student-teacher dynamics? According to a Pew Research Internet project, 95% of American teens are online. 81% of those are getting social through various networking sites. So with technology increasingly a larger part of our lives, is it ever a good idea for students and teachers to be friends on social media outside of the classroom?
Well,
ladies?
I mean, I guess it depends on the age. I just wonder what kind of
No.
teenager. I can't remember. Like, I wouldn't have wanted to be friends with any of my teachers when I was a teenager. I wouldn't have wanted them to peer in on my life, and vice versa. You know, you'd have that phenomenon. We were talking about this in our office when you'd see a teacher outside on the weekends.
It'd be like so weird because they actually like have regular clothes.
Yeah. You're like, this is weird. I don't know. I mean, I think it has the potential to open up doors of all kinds of inappropriateness. You don't want to, again, if you're sharing pictures on your Facebook page of your like party weekend or your trip to Vegas as the teacher, your students are going to see that. I don't think you need to see that, and vice versa. But in an ideal world, if the teachers were all out there and they were the best teachers, they're like Robin Williams in Dead Poets Society. Like, they're the most amazing teacher in the world.
Movie teachers.
I mean, wouldn't it be nice if they could be keeping an eye out for bullying or for people who are going through a tough time or being, attacked on Facebook? That would be a nice thing for them to be aware of.
To flag. Erica, you jumped right in and said no.
No, you know what? Because I think it depends on the age of the children. I mean, in Robin Williams, I mean, this is an older boy. This is somebody like that's in college or university. But I would say my 15-year-old son, I wouldn't want him to have that experience with a teacher, because I think the roles need to be very definitive. Mm-hmm. He's going to get an education, and that's where it should be. I don't want it to ever cross some kind of line where, but he's my friend, why didn't I get a better grade, or any of those kind of things. It just gets a little fuzzy, and I think that it's a great role that they are doing for our kids and that sort of thing, but I just
I'm with you. I'm a big fan of boundaries, and I think that you need to respect the teacher-student boundary in that we are not friends. I don't need to Snapchat you my party weekend. You don't need to see me at a bush party, which we all did in high school. I don't think that's information that should be shared, because we're humans, and it's our nature to judge, and who knows what a teacher could see and think, oh, I don't know about this kid now. This kid's troubled, or a student could see something on of a teacher and go, oh, that's what you're doing in your... I just don't think anyone needs all that information.
But I will say that there is a place for technology. We've got to feel like somehow education has to move forward with the times.
Well, yeah.
Email them.
My son will go on and see what his homework is, and that creates something that he could do. He can go on, he goes into his portal, he sees what all his homework is, he can get information, he emails back and forth about what his subjects are. But when it goes into the personal, to me, I just think that that's a funny little zone. And having been a young girl, been in, junior high, have a little
teacher crush,
that would be the worst thing ever
to get out.
Yeah,
for me to have.
And there are
had
apps for that. There's an app, a big one that's used in the States, and it's called Remind. And this is it's a secure way that teachers and parents in particular and students can all convene in a very safe way. No phone numbers are released. And then that way they can put out the homework, what the assignment due dates are. This is a reminder of your test. And no phone numbers get around. There's no Snapchatting happening. All clothes are on. I mean, there's nothing questionable at all that could get out there. So that's maybe the middle ground for sure. Okay, we're just getting started. Can you believe it's Friday, ladies and gentlemen? Wow. Okay, let's all take a quick break and come back and join us on the other side. You're watching The Social.
Coming up, is it time for men to start changing their last names after marriage? Tweet us your thoughts and join the conversation. And later, Hilary Duff, the former Disney darling, dishes on her new album and her new role as a mom. Monday on The Social, multiple Emmy and Tony Award-winning actress Andrea Martin, her hilarious and honest new memoir.
Make sure you're engaging with us online. Hop onto social media. Jump in on this conversation right now. And this is a big talker. Is the tradition of wives taking their husbands' names outdated? A writer for the blog Scroll questions this very tradition, suggesting that couples explore other options. He suggests that men should consider, for example, taking their wives' last name. Or could even consider choosing a new name. Create something new. Brangelina's doing it. You can do it too. What about the family tradition behind all of this? And is it an outdated notion? I will defer to my right, your left. Danielle, formerly McJimsey, who is now Danielle Graham.
That's right.
Recently married. Congratulations,
Thank you
by
very
the way.
much.
We celebrated a few
Thank you,
times.
guys. Thank you. Yes.
And you made the decision.
I did.
In fact, I think you're the only one on the panel right now that
Yep.
has your husband's last name. What was the decision there?
For me, I'm a very traditional person, and I love the tradition of getting married and becoming this cohesive family unit. Should we be lucky enough to have children, to have one family last name. And my mom did it. Most of my relatives have done it. Actually, all have done it. And I loved the idea of it. I will say that I was met with some hesitation from some women, thinking, you know, I've set back the women's movement and this man, you're not his property, things like that. But for me, it was a choice that I made. Early on in my television career, last name McJimsey, spelled differently than it sounds, not exactly TV friendly. And I was asked to change my name for those reasons. And I thought, no, not for superficial reasons I'm not going to do it, but when I get married, I'm going to do it. And that's why I did it when I did. I will say my husband, I like saying my husband.
It sounds good, right? I really like it.
My husband, Randall. He's a brand guy and a content guy. He also works in media. And at first he thought, are you sure you want to do this? You've been Danielle McJimsey on TV for a long time. And you're going to cease to exist in terms of the internet as Danielle Grande.
Yeah, were you worried about that?
I took all those things into consideration, but they did not change my decision, which is a decision I'm very happy with and I'm very confident in. So I'm glad I did it.
Okay.
It's an adjustment for sure. And it's a lot of work to change your name, everybody. Just so you know, there's a lot of paperwork. I'm getting nods in the audience. It's a ton of work. So I'm extra committed, I think.
Okay, what about you, ladies?
Well, I changed my name. I changed my name when I got married because I'm the same way. My mother did it, and even when my parents got divorced, my mother kept my father's surname because she wanted the kids, you know, her kids to have the same last name. So I'm a traditional woman when it comes, much like Danielle, and the fact that, you know, when I get married again to my second ex-husband, and he's a Rothschild or a Vanderbilt, I will be Tracy Melchior Vanderbilt or Rothschild.
Really good. It sounds really good.
Right?
It sounds good. I hyphenated Marqueza's last name, so I retained my last name in documentation. But my daughter, I decided it took two of us to make her, and I think I did a lot of the work. Just for the record, as you're experiencing, Erica, we're doing a lot of the work. And I said, so my name's going to be there, darn it. So the question was, well, what about when she gets married? What is she going to do? It's your problem, Marqueza. And that's kind of what I'm going to let her decide. So she's a Grello Gadji, because that's my husband's last name. It's my last name. But also, to travel with her becomes a bit of a contentious issue if she only has dad's last name and mom's last name is different.
Well, I have that.
Border control has a problem with that.
I have my husband's
Phoebe and
last
Phoenix are
name for
hyphenated.
all of my own stuff for traveling and everything, because I wanted to have my son's name and my husband's name. And, you know, it took so long to establish myself as any kind of working actor that when we ended up actually getting married, I just kept it as it was for a while. But I think the issue is, you know, people balk against whether it's traditional or not. We're in a place now where it's just about being able to have the freedom of choice, right? So to support that, you want to do that your way and you want to do that your way. It's not what it used to be where you're going to take the husband's name because he gets to have all your daddy's property when he marries you. And
that is the tradition of
deal.
I have to mention, Leanne wrote us in on Facebook, and she said it's the male dominance viewpoint in North America that has women and their children taking their husbands' and fathers' names. Do what you want, people, not what you've been conditioned to think you have to do. And I think that speaks to what, Erica, you were just saying. I think it's about the choice now. And I like the idea. I actually have a friend who they are having their child, when he or she comes, take the mother's name. So I think that people are kind of defining things for themselves. I do think it's worth considering for yourself, though, when you approach it, not just going into default mode. You had a real passion around this. It was something, for me, it was like equal parts political. I didn't want to take the idea of a man's name, for me, didn't feel like it was a right fit for my personality, but it was also practical. As you mentioned, I'm so lazy. I couldn't even fathom the amount of paperwork that you have to do.
But also, you're not traditionally married, right?
No, not at all.
So, yeah, you have a partnership.
The whole thing.
It wouldn't even be an issue for you.
Well, sure, we could have, you know, ended up combining.
But if you
our
did get
names.
married, that would be an issue. But you're not traditionally married.
We're not
right?
traditionally married,
Yeah.
no.
So
But regardless,
change,
even if we did do a traditional marriage, I would never have changed my name because of the career thing as well. Lazy, political, and then Googleability.
Right.
Right? I would be afraid of that.
I think people get over that, though. We talked about Juliana Rancic in the first segment.
Yeah.
Juliana Rancic was Juliana DePandy for a very long
That's how we
time,
knew her,
everybody,
yeah.
and we've all forgotten about her.
So true.
So, you know, I think people adjust and you get used to it. And again, it is all about choice.
What I thought was
that's the bottom
interesting
line,
was the blowback about that article, about how he was saying that he was getting a lot of flack as a man that
take his
wanted
wife's
to
last
take his
name.
wife's name. And I thought that was really an interesting thing, that there was such a huge blowback and you know, talking about whether that's emasculating for him and all those kinds of things. So I thought that was an interesting angle, that people got so so
excited
upset
about, right?
Yeah.
I just
Glad
want a
wanted to do
husband.
that.
Well, we're sticking with the men.
Okay.
This one especially for you, maybe, Tracy. Because if you like seeing hot men being good parents, you need to follow the Instagram account right now called DILFs of Disneyland.
Yep.
Do I need to explain what a DILF is?
No. Come on. She's your.
I don't think you can.
I don't think I'm
I really
allowed.
don't think you're allowed to.
Ask your neighbor sitting next to you.
But it rhymes.
So this is pictures of random sexy dads doing regular dad things like pushing strollers, all while at Disneyland, and they will be delivered to your Instagram feed. Now, a few of those delicious dads also happen to be celebrities. So they include guys like Cam Gigande. He is from Twilight. How about, hello? Dilf.
Yeah.
David Beckham.
Yes.
Also Gabriel Aubry, and he is Nala's father with Halle Berry. And FYI, the account has now more than 95,000 followers. What is it that is so hot about dads actually parenting their kids and happening to go out
Okay,
to
wait a
Disneyland?
minute. Those are hot dads. Like, this is not a guaranteed thing. Like, just because you're a dad, that automatically you'd be on the DILF. Good point, right? No offense. But like, my first thought actually when I heard about this is, why is it a DILF and not a FILF? Right? Fathers, I'd like to. Whatever.
Beep.
Anyway,
Dads.
A dad. I know, but it could be fathers. It could be FILFs. Okay. Yeah. It could be, right? Sure.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen a lot of. I check out dads at the playground on the regular.
What do you mean you check them
I
out,
checked them
Cynthia?
out. I checked them out because I think that Jason obviously is a DILF for me. My partner is that person. I find it so hot when he's being a good dad. I think it's just very sexy. But there are men at the playground that are on their cell phones, that are intervening with their kids' play. Like, oh, Sally, I think, needs to have that toy back from this stranger kids that you don't even know. Like, intervening on kid play, not sexy.
Not a DILF.
Not sexy.
Not a DILF.
I think Cuddlebug might be a DILF. If
Well,
Cuddlebug
funny-
and Marquesa.
Funny that
were
you say that,
posted.
because I'm pretty sure that when Ryan and I go out in public, particularly the mall, I always wonder why when we walk through the doors, he decides, don't worry, I'm just going to take Marquesa out and hold her. I wish I was making this up. I'm not. And he proceeds to walk through the mall with her in public. And I wondered, I get it. It's like a guy with a puppy, right, Trey?
guy with a puppy.
It's like,
It's a magnet for all the
Look
other
what I
women that want
made.
to
Look what I
procreate,
made.
so you have to be careful.
right.
Right?
That's true.
Oh, he'd be a really good father, and then you're in a totally different.
It's like a man with a tool belt, too.
I got that too.
I really like that.
I got that covered.
He's a guy with the tool belt holding a baby.
Oh, that's it.
Game over for Tracy.
I need a break. That.
Erica, I want to say congratulations on your pregnancy and a good old-fashioned welcome back, as we love to have you here.
Thank you so much.
And you know that Erica is now going into the third season. Is it third season?
Third
of Sept?
season.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks.
And you're wondering, when is it starting up again? It starts Monday, but there is a two-parter here. So part one of the season premiere is Monday. Part two will be airing on Thursday, both at 9 p.m. Eastern and Pacific, right here on CTV. It is time for a quick break. A big thank you again, Erica. Thank you very much. And we'll be right back.
After the break, is there anything Hilary Duff can't do? The musician, actress, and author reveals why she traded fame for family. And what brings her back to the spotlight.